Yes.
Hi, Marisa.
Hi,
Hello.
Marisa.
Good afternoon. Thank you for
Good
joining
to see
us.
you.
Thank you, Marisa, for your time because we are very excited to hear about your experience.
Great.
And Stephane, Deneux, thank you so much. We are also looking forward to hear about the most profitable US franchise in the US. I'll let you start and introduce also your guest. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Rachel. So hi everybody. I'm Stephane Deneux, the CEO and founder of DNX Consulting. It's a franchise consulting company, and I'm gonna share a presentation. So if you want to have it, you have to double click on the picture if you want to see the slides bigger on your screen. Just a quick introduction about what we do. We start this company in 2016. So before that, I was a business broker and a business consultant. And what I saw at this time is if you don't have a strong experience, it can be really difficult to start a business and expect to be successful. And if you want to take over a good business, especially in a city like Miami, you need funds. You really need a lot of funds. I would say 400,000. And at this time, I realized, and it was terrifying, that a lot of foreign investors coming in the US. They were failing their business quite rapidly. We don't statistic, but that's certainly like 80% of these entrepreneurs. And also, it was obvious that most of the time, these investors, these entrepreneurs, did not know about franchises and how big of a market it is in the US. And so I dig it, and I really realized that franchise was a great option if you are transitioning from your country to the US, or if you want to invest and become a business owner in the US. Well, franchise is maybe not for everybody, but that's really an option to consider. There is more than 3,000 franchise brands in the US. And so we spend a lot of time through all these brands to select and put them together in a portfolio of 200 franchises, mostly franchises that accept foreign investors, and that this kind of business models that are right when you are kind of new as an entrepreneur. And just sure and to be transparent about how we work. You don't have to pay for our services. We're doing consulting, but it's free of charge for you. We're paid by the franchises to be sure that we bring them the right candidates, and the price will be the same. If you're working with me or another franchise broker, the price will be exactly the same as if you do that by yourself. So exactly how exactly can we help you to find the most profitable franchise business? Well, when you have a look at the also terrifying, you'll see that when you're a foreign entrepreneur, 80% of the time, your company will never make more than $100,000 per year, and only 5% of businesses will reach the 1 million bar as a revenue per year. We want you to be part of this 5%. We don't want you to be part of the 80% that are really in trouble. So how we do that? First, this is our role as a consultant. We will perform an analysis of your profile, your project, and select the right opportunities for you. Then we will coach you through your due diligence, because franchise, it's an heavy regulated market in the US, so it's not really obvious to understand how it works and to follow the rules. Also, we are brokers. It means that we'll be negotiate the best conditions for you. Brokers represent more than half of the transaction in the franchise business. So we have this weight to obtain good conditions for you. And of course, we will coordinate is the communication between you, the franchisors, the lawyers, etc., etc. So just a quick reminder how franchise works. A franchise, it's a profitable concept. It can be duplicated everywhere in the US, and they will look for new franchisee, people that will invest their money, their time, to be successful as well in another part of the US. The US is very large, so it's difficult for one brand to be everywhere rapidly. And this model, the franchise, it's a good fit if you're a foreign investor, or if you're not, if you're in the US but you want to transition to your job to be an entrepreneur, because the franchise brings you the specific know-how you need in the US. Also, this is really a dominant business model, the franchise business model in the US. 3,500 different concepts in 75 different industries. So there is everything, all the businesses you can imagine, they exist in franchise, and most of the time the leaders are the franchisor in this business. We're talking about 800,000 franchise unit for all these brands in the US, and in the US economy are 2,000 billions, $2 trillion. That's the equivalent of the GDP of Italy. So that's that's really not something, that's really not marginal. It's really a dominant market. Now, if you want to be profitable, we have to find for you the best match. You have to find the right business. To set up your business with a franchise. Well, first, the inventory. For example, if you want to take over an existing business, it might be hard to find a good deal, especially if you're not on site, if you don't already have a strong network in this industry. Someone else will catch the good deal before you. So you won't have a lot of inventory. You will have to deal with the leftovers. With a franchise business, because everywhere a franchise everywhere they are not yet, it's a good potential option where you would be able to develop this business. So it's almost an unlimited inventory, and I have never had an issue not to find something for someone in this exact place. Second part is that the franchise will be like a partner for you with their brands, their products. There's no question is what they sell is a good fit for the US market, because they are already successful in another towns, in another states. Their brand is already well known by everybody, not only your clients, but also people you may have to convince, your banker, your landlord, the immigration services, if you're coming from another country. They have spent a lot of money to find the right methodologies, the right processes to ease your setup and to accelerate your return on investment. Say otherwise, to be sure you will be the most profitable possible. And the headquarters will provide the help you need for legal, marketing, sources, human resources, which has not obvious field when you're new in the industry. They're bringing the know-how, so you don't need it, but also your employees don't. It means that you don't depend on experienced employees, and that's really also something that can help your business to thrive rapidly. Something important to understand is that you don't buy a franchise. Marissa will talk about it. I hope, for example, show homes, they don't accept everybody. You choose them, but also they choose you. It's a win-win relationship. If they want to earn money, it's through the royalties. The royalties is a small percentage of your revenues, and so if you are successful, the more successful you are, the best it is for them too. And once again, if you start your business as an independent, or if you take over an independent business, you don't have this partner to help you along the road. You're by yourself. And lastly, and I will go quite rapidly through this point, the franchise, it's heavily regulated in the US, mainly to protect the investors. So the franchisor has to give you the numbers, he has to give you the contract, he has to show you how much it will cost to run this business. And so you're really, there's no question mark. Once you go through your due diligence, you'll know exactly how much it will cost you to do this kind of business. So really, also in the pros and maybe the cons, if you are in one of this situation, this is a strong recommendation to consider in franchise business. If you have no business ownership experience, of course, it will be something less difficult than start a business by yourself. If you're transitioning from one job and you want to go in another industry, the franchise will help you acquire the know-how and to start your business in this new industry more rapidly and to be profitable more rapidly. If you have a budget under 200,000, it will be difficult to find an existing business to take over, a profitable business to take over. We have a lot of good opportunities in the franchise world that are around $100,000, $150,000. So that's not an issue if you look at the franchise. If you're looking to start your business in an area with a lot of competition, typical example is you will be happy to have a partner with a strong brand to help you compete. If your English is broken, or if, like me, you have a stronger French or another accent, same thing. You'll be happy to have a partner, a brand already established in the US to ensure your clients. If you're looking to invest in a business that is passive or semi-absentee, meaning that you don't want to be that much involved in the operation, there is good solution with some franchises. And lastly, if you're looking at a regulated industry, or if you're looking to obtain a visa, working in the real estate, it's almost mandatory to do that with a franchisor. Quickly, just to show you, of course, you will have access to these slides after you will have access to this presentation. Just to show you the budget per industry. These are kind of the minimum budget. But just to let you know, that's not only the startup cost, that's also what you need as a working capital to be able to reach the break-even. So there's no hidden cost. With the franchise, you have access to this information, and they really give you a very detailed budget. Where once you have the franchisor contract, the franchise disclosure document in your head, you can see these numbers really detailed over 2 or 3 pages. So once again, usually no bad surprises. I can see that you're asking some questions. If you don't mind, I will answer at the end of this presentation. I just want to be sure that Marissa have all the time she needs to talk. I have some business case. First one, because everybody, when you're talking franchise, it's they're thinking about food and fast food business. So here we have. I wanted to talk to you about this concept that's been quite successful recently. Most of the time, people think about starting or buying a restaurant because they think it's easy and it's quick to make money. The bad news is that's not true. A restaurant is really one of the most difficult business you can imagine, and it's easy to underestimate the real cost. You will need not only to start your restaurant, but also to be sure that you have enough working capital to go through the second year. So here we have a fun concept. It's chicken. everybody eats chicken. Almost everybody likes chicken. Startup budget is low. The menu, the operations are very simple. You don't need to be a chef. You don't even need to hire a chef. You don't even need to have experienced people in the food industry. It's kind of a dumb-proof concept. You do not need a lot of people. 1 to 3 people per shift are more than enough. Facilities somewhere between 400 and 1,500 square foot. The franchisor has a specific team to find the right real estate, and to negotiate the locations for you. The setup is pretty quickly, from 6 to 12 weeks. Once you have signed the lease to open the business. It's not a big startup investment, but it can be a high return on investment. You can see the number, and even during the COVID, the brand is still growing rapidly. They had opened new places the last week, the last month. So yes, really a new star in the franchise business. Second business case, home care franchise. I wanted to present this franchise because it's a booming market. The home care, the senior care, everywhere in the US. We're talking double-digit growth for the coming years. You can imagine the potential here in Florida to watch elderly people take care of our seniors. So this brand originates in Southern California 20 years ago. They now have a multi-million-dollar business, and 5 years ago they decided to start franchises, franchising this business. Just to explain why I chose them, not only for the numbers, but also because they offer a passive business model, meaning you can invest in home care. It's not that expensive. We're talking a budget of 100 or 150,000, and you can let them grow a multi-million business for you, and you just have a look at the numbers, and if you want to be involved, you can be involved, but you really can have this help directly from the franchisors. So before I give the mic to Marissa, there is a question. Based of my knowledge, what are the markets able to offer double-digit returns? If you want a quick return on investment, obviously you will look at this kind of opportunity like the fast food I showed before. This is kind of quick. You will not expect to grow indefinitely, but this is certainly a good option if you want to have a quick return on investment. If you want to grow your business, like double the numbers every year for several years, most likely you will look at a service business like a home care or a real estate kind of business. But you have to accept that you will certainly, you won't be profitable the first year. You will start to be profitable the second year, and so the return on investment, the break-even, will be longer to achieve. But on the long term, you're really looking to have a strong return on investment. Once again, if you do everything correctly, if you follow the indication from the franchise, and if you really put the efforts needed to have a successful business. Nothing is magical. This is the this is still entrepreneurship, so you have to work hard to have a stronger return on investment. Marissa, that's your turn now. Thank you for being with us. Marissa owns the Show Homes franchise in Coral Gables, Florida. It's an home staging business. Marissa, I'm sure you will present that better than me, so please explain us tell us a little bit more about
Show Home is a national franchise, and I've owned the franchise in Coral Gables. I service Coral Gables, Pinecrest, Coconut Grove, and Key Biscayne. I've owned that franchise now for 11 years. We have offices throughout the nation, so I've been doing this for a while already. For those of you that don't know what home staging is when we decorate a house that's on the market for sale. So basically, we'll go into a vacant house and bring in all the furniture, including sofas, artwork, area rugs, accessories, and everything that makes, a house feel like a home. The truth is that homes that are staged will sell faster and for more money.
I'm gonna share.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna share some pictures, Marisa. The pictures you sent me earlier.
Right. So
that the before and after picture. I think it's quite a good way to explain.
So usually we can either do homes that are completely vacant or homes that are owner occupied, but we tend to do a lot of homes that are completely vacant, where and a lot of new construction homes. So that's the before we stage it. And, people have a very hard time visualizing what to do with a big open empty space. So here we stage it into, this was a big open floor plan where it's a living room and a dining room. So, when buyers walk in, they can fall in love with the house. That's a lot more appealing than if it's left vacant. So here's another shot. The before and the after. These tend to be high-end homes, multi-million-dollar homes. This one was a brand new construction home with this beautiful kitchen, but it doesn't, once you stage it, then, it becomes more emotionally appealing to buyers when they see a house this way as opposed to being completely empty. So we try to appeal to the emotions of the potential buyer. Not to mention that the photography online is much better. Homes, I always say that your first showing is the pictures online. So it's important for the property to show really well. So that, the house that looks like a home is going to be much more attractive. You're going to get a lot more showings and your house will sell faster. So that's what we do. We transform vacant properties into beautiful homes. So it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun.
I can imagine. Marisa, why did you choose show homes when you start when you decided
That's a good
to
question.
start?
My background is jewelry. I've been in the jewelry business my whole life. I'm third generation in the jewelry business. My grandfather was a jeweler. My father was a jeweler. And so I ran a jewelry business, and I also worked in a high-end retail jewelry department. And the problem with retail was that I worked nights, holidays, and weekends. So I didn't have a lot of family time. And at that time, I was having my children. So I was working all the time and I didn't have time with my children. So I basically took 3 years off from work. And in 2008, I wanted to go back to work. But if you will remember, in 2008, the world, the economy was collapsing.
Yeah, the world collapsed.
I've always been an entrepreneur, so I wasn't afraid to start something new. And actually, my husband is the one that found show homes, and he said, "I found the perfect thing for you." It was for me, it was not only, for me, a lot of it was a lifestyle choice, where I wanted to have freedom to be with my family, truthfully, and my children, and, be able to be involved in their life, while also, have the thrill of having my own business. And, I've always been a hard worker. I've always made something out of nothing. So that was appealing to me.
And it is great. And did you achieve to have the lifestyle?
I did.
The lifestyle with more free time for
at
your
the
family,
beginning,
what you were looking for, or did you?
Well, it's like everything. When you start a new business, you have to work really hard at it, and then you really have to learn how to set your boundaries, and then and hire people. One of the good things about having a franchise is they kind of guide you along, and kind of give you a formula of what you should be doing. I think at the beginning I was a little hard-headed because I thought I could do it all myself, but quickly realized that I couldn't. So as soon as I started hiring people and getting help, that's when my business started to really grow. So, you know, and when I started show homes 11 years ago, we didn't have as many services as we do now. So back then we only had one service, which was called the home manager staging, where not only would we stage a house, but we'd put someone to live in the house and take care of the house. And that was, you know, that's very profitable, but it's also very difficult. So over time I started offering two options: the staging only, where it was just furniture rental, and then the home manager staging. So what happened is that the regular staging took off. You know, it became more and more sought after. And with HGTV and all those shows on TV, people started to understand what home staging was. And as, you know, my statistics got better and better and my house kept selling faster and faster, you know, you develop a relationship with realtors that, you know, want to use you over and over. So that's how I grew my business.
Okay. Yes. So someone is asking, do you have a storage for furniture? Or
I
are you
have
dealing with
yes,
the
I have
supplier
warehouses
directly?
with furniture. You know, and I developed that over time. I didn't do that, you know, on day one. Now you do it, you know, the new guys that start with storage and inventory from the beginning, because, you know, the franchise has gotten better and better at training people, you know, giving you the contracts, providing you with a website. And not only that, but then there's the network. You know, when you're new to a franchise, you know, you can always talk to the people that have been there a while. So, you know, when I started the franchise, I was calling everybody else to help me. And now people are calling me because I've been there for so long. So the roles have reversed. So it's kind of nice.
You're the mentor. I can imagine. If you have to choose again today, would you do the same?
I mean, nothing is easy. I'm not gonna lie. You have to put in the time, and you have to put in the work, and you have to be organized, and you have to be efficient, and you have to kind of, you know, pay attention to what they're telling you to do and execute the plan. You know, and every market is different, so you have the flexibility of maybe what works for you doesn't work for somebody else, but you have the flexibility to do that. So even though it is a franchise, you're really running it as your own business with the support of other people. Huh? I'm sorry?
Yes, that's what I... Yeah, that's what I try to explain to people. There is not, most of the time they tell me, oh, what's the best one? And I'm always answer, there's no best one. There's a right one for you and the wrong ones for you. So you have to choose correctly. But with the same business, someone will do great, and some other people will just don't do anything.
Right.
So it's really I think what they call the matching. It's really. And lately, because, you know, this COVID crisis is for me, it's kind of paradoxical, because I know people in real estate right now, some of them, the market is not at all bad, depending on what you do, but especially for houses in Florida now, it's crazy times. So how it's
recently we've been very
for
busy
you,
because the market has picked up. So we're staging homes and they're selling immediately. So we're finding that we're turning over our inventory very quickly. So, you know, we're putting it in a house. The house is going under contract in about a week, and then you know, you leave it there till after inspections and it's close to closing, and then, you know, we're picking it up. So I think it's been good. It means our business model works. You know, houses that have not been selling, that have been sitting,
yes.
We'll go in, we'll stage it, have it rephotographed, and then they go under contract. So, you know, the market is hot, but your house still needs to present well, or else you're not going to sell it unless you're going to keep lowering.
Or you're going. yes, you're going to sell it, but at a lower price, and that's a big loss when you have a hot market to sell at a lower price, because you're not making the effort of changing and so on. That's right. Not that might not be the best choice. Okay, I understand. That. Well, great. That's I'm always wanting to do things in my house each time I see some pictures.
For me, it was a good fit.
It's like,
I realize that a lot of these businesses are all very marketing related. So you just have to be good at marketing and be creative.
Yeah. Do you think it suits better for people that are really into sales and going out, meeting realtors and so on, or it's better for people that have the mindset to say, oh, I know how to make this house looks good? I think it's more it's more important to have the business side than the decorative side, but maybe I'm wrong.
I always say it's easier to find a stager than it is to find a salesperson. So I have found that I am the #1 salesperson.
Yeah.
And then I have my support staff around me, and then I have my salespeople, my stagers. So that's how I've been able to grow my business, because you have to realize where you fit in your business. So I've had to learn to delegate a lot of things that I like doing, because I like staging.
Yes.
I like doing accounting. I like doing the marketing, but I can't do it all. So I've had to kind of let go. And I think that's the key to growing any business, whether it be a franchise or not. And one of the things the franchise tells you early on is to staff up, staff up, staff up. And that's important.
Yes, I think that also answered the question we have earlier. What are the markets able to offer double-digit returns? That's also the market when you can grow your business with people, because if you're by yourself, it will be difficult to have a really big revenues. You need an opportunity that give you this opportunity to grow and grow and grow, to have more people, to have more facilities, to have more clients. Obviously, and that's it is also a good tool for this to at some point say, I'm doing everything, but I have everything in place to have people working with me. I don't need to do everything. There is a system that is robust and that can help having more.
Yeah, and they help you with some of those symptoms.
And I think that also, yes, I think that most of the time. Yes, I think that most of the time people see a franchise and they say, oh, that's going to be a quick return on investment, which can be true. But I think it's really on the long term also that you can see the benefits, because at some point you will need to hire a second, a third, I don't know how many more employees. And at this point, you're fine to not have to take care of everybody.
Yeah. So it's been very good for me. And then, we have conferences once a year where we get together and, we exchange ideas, and we have roundtables, and, we bring in speakers. So that's always very motivating. We go shopping for furniture, in groups to Las Vegas and things like that. So, I mean, show homes in particular. Yeah. Huh?
That sounds like fun. That sounds like spring break,
Exactly. We're going groups to buy furniture, and then, sometimes you have better buying power when you're in a bigger group. So, there's definitely some advantages. And, we have our monthly conference calls, and, they bring you up to date on technology, and, you should be on QuickBooks Online instead of doing, your accounting by hand, and, DocuSign instead of doing paper. So they kind of force you to keep up with technology too, even if you're not really a techie person, let's just say.
Yeah. Yes, which is good, because I think if you don't get that,
Yes.
if you don't get these modern tools, slowly the competition will take over, and you will be, oh my God. I was discussing not so long ago with someone running a property management business for 15 years, and I was asking, what are your tools? And he told me, this is my tool, my pen and a piece of paper. And I was, wow, my God, how can you even survive in today's world doing property management? And when I introduced into to the franchise, the leader franchise in property management, and he saw how they were doing marketing, it was almost overwhelming for him. It was too much. He was like, oh my God, I'm so far away from doing all. Now I understand why it can be beneficial, and why they
No,
are
it's
growing
very
so
hard.
fast,
It's
and
very
why
hard.
I'm not growing.
Yeah, with Stephane, they'll
This
be
is
like,
difficult to
okay,
grow a
now let's
business
try
with a
to
pen.
do our, a few years ago, they,
become,
implemented DocuSign, and this is, and then now we do proposals through this electronic thing that's very fancy, and those are things I may not have chosen to have done on my own. Like I would have still been doing it the old-fashioned way, huh?
and
Yeah.
Yes, and as you say, I think you've been here for 11 years. You have also seen the switch between the time where people were going to see the places to have an idea. Now they spend all their time online, and they choose online. So if you have a place it is not stable, that look like
not like that. Yeah, sure.
This, and not what we have seen before. You're just basically
Exactly.
losing
And now with this COVID, everybody's buying properties online, and sometimes sight unseen, and sometimes realtors will do a video tour. I mean, people are getting very creative, so you have to gotta stay up with the times, for sure.
Okay. Also, what I understood, it was you were.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's kind of a family that now you're in this franchise with the franchisors, of course, but also with the other franchises. You meet from time to time. You have conference calls. So it really sounds like you're not by yourself. You really have some people doing the same business.
Exactly. Yes, and I'm part of within the franchise. I'm part of another group that we call the PPG group, which is like profit performing group, where we get together once a quarter and we share our books. Like, where are you? We set our goals, and then, have you met your goal for your quarter? What are your expenses? What is your income? Are you making money? Because in the end, we're all in this to make money. So we want to make sure, that you're being profitable, and not only profitable, but, being able to put some money in your pocket too. So it's just very interesting to see where you are compared to other people, and either, it gives you information.
Yes. I think that's very important what you're saying, because most of the time people, when they look at the franchise, they say, oh my God, I have to pay 6, 8, 10, 12% royalties. That's a lot of money. Yes, but if you have to do this that the franchisor is providing for you, if you have to do that by yourself, what's the cost? I remember another of my clients, at the beginning, he was not really happy to pay the full royalties, because nobody liked to pay royalties. And at some point, he made the math, and he realized that just by the discounts he can have through the franchise on what he was paying, the royalties was for free. So anything else that the franchise was for free, because the royalties were paid by the discounts on what he was paying for his restaurant. So I think that's great. And also, I always tell my clients, when I had businesses as an independent, and I was spending so much time and so much energy and sometimes so much money for things that at the end of the day are not the right way to do it, but you realize that just after you make the mistakes. So it's always difficult to say how much will you spend, because you're by yourself and you don't know. From my point of view, it's between 20 to 25% that will just will just wait because you don't know. And so with a franchise, you can avoid this waste. And you don't have to spend so much time negotiating everything all the time, trying to find new way to work, etc. They do that job, and honestly, that's exactly, not the easy part of the job. That's not. And sometimes when you're into the operations, you don't have time to do that. You don't have time to look at the next technology, to look at how maybe I can find someone that I will pay 2 or 3% less. Exactly. You don't have time for that.
Yeah,
so
you know, and they take care of the website, they take care of the contracts, they take care of, you know, the big umbrella policy we have for insurance. So yeah, there's yeah.
That's an important point. I tell to people, you know, sometimes worth it, especially for, you know, some of my clients, they're coming from another country, they don't know how it works in the US, they are very afraid of the insurances, to be sued and so on. I tell them, go with a franchise just to have the experience in this area. They will tell you, you have to take this insurance, you have to pay that much for this insurance, and you're covered. You're covered for yourself, for your employees, for your clients. If you break something in their house and so on, you want to be covered. And just imagine you're doing this in properties that are not yours, so you want to be covered. But before I talked about people doing home care. Just imagine if you have an issue with your employee not taking care correctly of your grandfather or your grandmother. You can imagine the trouble. You want to be covered correctly, and for me, that's just this benefit enough to work with a franchise and not as an independent.
You know, and then and then in the end, you have to plan your exit strategy. You know, a franchise is going to have value. You know, it's going to be valuable. You know, I think. Because you have like support behind you. So yeah.
Yes, and they look at the long term benefits for everybody. Well, I don't see any question. I think everybody at the end of this business tour. So. Well, anyway, thank you, Marisa. Thank you so much for being with us today. For people that speak Spanish and want to, and maybe if you don't have the opportunity to see the beginning, of course, it will be some replay, but you can also join me in 15 minutes. I will do the same conference with Marisa, but this time we'll be talking in Spanish. Will be quite a challenge for both of us, but we're happy to do that. Thank you so much, Marisa. And people have your contact information. So if you want to stage your house, or if you're a realtor going,
thank you very much. Yes, you can follow me on Instagram too.
The best home stager in town.
We have a beautiful Instagram page. Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, Show Homes Coral Gables.
Fantastic. I will type the name of the. Show Homes Coral Gables, and you will find Marisa quite easily. Marisa, you're doing Coral Gables and basically all the area of South Miami, right? I think you're doing also
Key Biscayne.
Yes.
Because it's a franchise, so there's a franchise for there's the Miami franchise does Brickell, Miami Beach. So they handle that area, and I handle this other area.
Okay, so if you're in Miami